What is going on, guys? Brewer here, back again with another video, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit fun and exciting. It's something that I've mentioned on this channel in the past, and that is actually our strategy development sheet and what we've been doing on the back end of our TikTok agency, testing out different strategies, making sure that our current strategies are like up to date and optimized to perform the absolute best for our clients. So we're going to be taking an inside look on the back end data of our product testing at the agency only for the past week or two. We haven't been doing this for that long, so I want you to understand that these results are based on, not hundreds of tests yet, but we are getting there. And I really wanted to make this video, so that I can update you guys, kind of like along the way on the types of things that we discover, and kind of give you an inside look on what the back end of an ad agency looks like, in terms of strategy development. Like, how do we actually come up with the methods that we use and then go out and split test them and figure out which ones perform the best. So I'm super excited to share this with you guys, and I appreciate you sitting here and listening to me, because this is the type of shit that an agency is able to do that it's very, very difficult for, a normal advertiser to do, just because they don't have as many accounts, they don't have as many budget, stuff like this. So I hope you guys are excited, and today we're gonna find out what our current best strategy is for testing products on TikTok ads. Now, we are going based on initial success rate. We haven't been doing this long enough for us to bring it through stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 of scaling yet, but I am looking forward to making videos in the future on how the different stages have optimized as well. Because not only do we go through this crazy process for the initial test campaign, we also go through this process for the entire strategy from start to finish. That way we have a replicatable method that we can actually go from 0 to 100K a month, or whatever the end goal is. Alright, so I'm going to share my screen now. I have our strategy development system pulled up. Now, I'm going to briefly explain kind of what this is and how we use it, because I understand that if you don't understand what it is, it's probably mad confusing to look at. But essentially, this is a system that allows us to create kind of like a base level strategy, the one that we mainly follow currently, and then it allows us to create as many different variations of that strategy. So for example, I want to start by explaining our base strategy, the strategy that works the best for us currently, and that is essentially 5 ad groups, each with a single interest, lowest cost bidding, $20 budgets per ad group, targeting US and Canada, all age and genders, with 1 ad underneath each ad set, and comments off. We thought that was worth mentioning. So what this graph basically allows us to do is add different variations to this base strategy. So you can see that we have our base strategy here, so we're tracking the results for that. And then we have base, but instead of a single interest, we have single category. So no interest in here, only categories. And then over here, we have no interest or categories, so kind of neither, essentially no targeting at all. Here we have a variant that is targeting US only. You can see that we haven't done that much testing on that one yet. You can see that this one is a base with 3 different ads under each ad set. So when it says base dash 3 ads, that pretty much means it's the same exact campaign structure as this, just with 3 ads instead of 1. So it's basically different variants on here. And then there's a couple other ones here. I think you guys get the point now. But what we can look at, and essentially what this allows us to do, is we run 15 different product tests or 15 different campaign tests with each of these strategies. Now, as you can imagine, if there's 5 strategies and we're running 15 each, that's like 80 campaigns created. My math is probably terrible on that, but it's a high number of campaigns being created. So this is going to take a little bit of time to fill out. I believe we're about 2 to 3 weeks in to actually filling this out. Another thing to keep in mind is that most of the time we're following our base strategy. So most of these new campaign tests, we just kind of trickle in here and there. We test them out on our own stores. So keep in mind that most of what we're doing is with our base method. So it takes a little bit longer even to figure out, which variants perform the best, because we're not strictly testing variants. We like to stick with something that we know works for the majority, and then when it comes to testing new things, we kind of trickle it in. But we have some really interesting numbers here that we can go over, and I kind of wanted to show you the back end of a strategy development sheet and kind of show you like the types of things that we're looking at in terms of, you know, what types of things bring the best methods. And recently my team has made a revelation on here that I think is going to push us in an incredible direction, and you'll see why we're able to get the results that we do for our clients, because with this setup, with this structure on the back end, you know, we're very, very focused on getting client results. If you don't know, recently I closed down the agency. I basically set a max amount of spots that we can have for clients at all times. And this basically means that we have to open it and close it and stuff like that. But never mind the front end. On the back end, what that allows us to do is our ad buyers are very, very focused on, you know, bringing the clients the best results as possible. If you don't know, we take profit share as a part of our agreements with our clients. So it more motivates us to get better results for less people, as opposed to just getting a bunch of clients and, you know, kind of giving a good service to all of them. Like when we were at full scale, we were still getting really good results. But for the next few months here, I'm going to test out limiting the amount of clients we take on, going really in depth with the strategies, and focusing on making as much money as possible for the current clients. Now, if the agency is something that you may be interested in, there will be a link below to schedule a call. Obviously, it's probably closed, and our wait list right now has about 20 people on it. So I would highly recommend scheduling a call, learning about it. If you think it's a good fit for you, you can join the wait list, and then next time I open it up, you may have the chance to join in. It is first come, first serve, even if you get on the wait list. But I just wanted to say that if it is something you may be interested in, there's more information in the link in the description, and you can also schedule a call and talk to my team. But let's dive into this. Let's look at the results that we have here. So you can see that on the bottom of the chart, we have our test results. So once the full 15 is filled out, then we can look at, you know, how many winning products were we able to find based on 15 tests using this method. Now, the way that we define a winning product in this case scenario, because it's just an initial test campaign, the goal with the initial test campaign is not to do like 100K in sales. So the criteria that we have here is over 10 orders profitably. So that's the minimum criteria. So what we consider a winner in the testing stages is if it makes 10 sales or more on an actual profitable ROAS. So if it makes 10 sales but it's not profitable, we don't count it as a winning product. So I just wanted to make that clear so you kind of know what we're looking at here. So for our base method, like people always ask me, like, what are your success rates, you know, when you're testing? And usually what I say with TikTok specifically is like 1 out of 10, like maybe 1 out of 8 on a good day. You know, these are kind of the averages across the whole agency. And you can see that with our base strategy, it's pretty much spot on. It's about 1 out of 10. In this case, it's 1 out of 7, but like we're, you know, give or take a few, we'll say 1 out of 10. This is a really good success rate when you're product testing. I know if you don't have anything to compare it to, this method has performed really, really great for us, and we've been able to bring some incredible results for our clients using this base strategy. And you can see why here, because, you know, we tested 15 products and 2 of them ended up working out really, really well. Now, one thing that we did was the same thing as the base strategy, but we did no interests and no categories, and you can see this one completely shit the bed. Now you can see the names of the ad buyers that are actually testing here. So this strategy was mainly tested out by my boy Stefan. Great guy. If you have him as an ad buyer, tell him I said hi. And I fucking love the guy. He reminds me of our manager. He's such a good dude. But this strategy fucking sucked. So you can see that they're probably not going to test this the full, you know, 15 times. Like we kind of know, you know, by the 10 test point, you know, you can kind of see that usually it'll pop a winner within the first 10 if it's a decent strategy. And in this case scenario, they're probably not going to continue testing this. So we know like 0 out of 11, pretty terrible, especially once you see the success rates of some of the newer methods that we've been testing out. If you compare this to them, we're probably going to scrap this. So you guys can just ignore that. But that is part of the game. Like part of the game of testing strategies and what we do here as an agency, you have winners and you have losers. And I got to show you kind of both of them, because that's kind of what product testing is about. And that's also what strategy testing is about. Like if you're going out into the advertising world and you're trying to develop methods for yourself, just know that this is the level of effort. This is the level of, you know, care and attentiveness that it requires to actually create a strategy from scratch. And it's not easy. Like we might go through and fill out this sheet like 20 times before we're, you know, 100% optimized with our strategy, and we know that we can bring the best results possible. This is the very beginning stages. We're only about 2 to 3 weeks into this, so after a few months, I'll be super excited to come in here and show you guys the kinds of results that we're seeing. I'm not saying it's going to be anything crazy, but the main two things that we're looking for is, success rate, obviously, like how many winning products can we pop, like what's the best strategy. And the next thing is obviously sustainability and scalability. So some methods will work really, really well, but only a few times. We're looking for something that's going to work kind of at scale. So once we have our best like 3 methods figured out, we're probably going to test them a little bit more than 15 times just to kind of run them through the paces and see if the success rate is consistent at scale. But nevertheless, I realized I completely messed up on that last one. This one was targeting category and not interest. So I believe I said it was no category and no interest. This one is actually targeting a single category. This one, however, this is the no interest, no category. So this is basically this strategy with no targeting at all. And you can see that the success rate for this is right on par with our current methods. So people have asked me in the past, should I target interest? Or people will say like, hey, TikTok ads do way better when you don't target interest or when you have no targeting. Now, this could be true. That's why we kind of put it through this test, and we're gonna, run it with more tests and see how it performs over time. But, that's why when I answer these questions that you guys give me, I'm coming from the situation of data, right? Like I have this stuff written down. You can see, right here that the base strategy with interest is 2 out of 15, and the no interest, no categories is 2 out of 15. So, or 2 out of 14, basically the same shit. So currently, with our current understanding of TikTok ads, it doesn't really make that big of a difference between doing no interest and no category. I do have something, however, in this video that I will show you that does make a absolutely massive difference, and I'm super excited to share it with you, and hopefully you can take it home and actually make more money on your next product test because of this video, which I think is really cool. So this strategy here, we can't even really look at this data because we only ran 2 product tests, so we'll just skip over that one, but this is a US only variant. Now this is where shit starts to get interesting, and we're actually about to get on a team call with our guys and run through this entire sheet again and kind of re-optimize it and put in some better ideas, because we have here the base strategy, but instead of 1 ad under each ad set, we're putting 3 ads under each ad set. This has made an incredibly big difference in terms of the success rate of our testing. So you can see here that we have 3 out of 11, like a 30% success rate, which is really, really incredible. And if you compare that to the other 2 methods that we have that are kind of like doing the best so far, way better, right? Like if once we finish out these full 15 tests, hopefully our success rate will stay consistent, and this may be one of our new strategies, right? Like putting 3 ads under each ad group is not something that I've talked about on the YouTube channel before, so I'm super excited that, right now is the time that I'm kind of introducing this strategy to you guys, and the proof is in the pudding, the proof is in the numbers. These are all real product tests that we've ran with clients and with our own stores, and we're just keeping track so that we can optimize for the best methods. And this is exactly why we follow this strategy development sheet, because the base method that we're following, like I said, it's good, but you never know what could be out there that's better. Now, you shouldn't drop everything that you know works just to go and try to find something better. If you know me, you know I'm very against that. But what you should do is kind of trickle in some new strategies, and that's exactly what we've been doing. And honestly, I think our method is going to get like 20 to 30% better over the next few months just by doing this. And I'm super excited for all the people that are going to join the agency and we can implement these methods with. So there's a couple more variants that I really wanted to test out that we haven't gotten to yet. This one is a CBO, so kind of doing like CBO testing on TikTok ads. As you know, we did a lot of CBO testing with Facebook, and it performed really, really good. So you can see that we haven't really tested this out much yet. And then this one is leaving the comments on, so like we weren't really expecting this one to make that big of a difference at all. These 2 right here, these are newer variants that we just put in, and you can see that the success rate so far is 100%, but we've only tested 2 times on this one and 3 times on that one, so I don't want to hype shit up and say that it's 100% success rate, because I can assure you it's probably not going to be once we actually take it through 15 product tests. But the results so far are very, very promising nonetheless. So open targeting essentially means no interest, no category. Now, if you think back to here, we tested out no interest, no category, and it actually performed pretty good. So this Number 5 strategy here is basically the base method. So that's with a single interest in each ad group with 3 different ads. So essentially what this new variant is using, I believe it's dynamic creatives. I don't know 100%, but this is basically open targeting. So no interest, no category with 3+ creatives. So it's basically a mix of both of the other strategies that worked really well. And we also did that right here. Now you can see that we've tested these out like 3 to 5 times, and the results is so far 100% is working. So this is really, really interesting, and I'm super excited to see what happens, you know, once we bring these through their tests. And I'm sure in the next video we'll be talking about this strategy again. At least once a month I want to go through this strategy development sheet with you guys and bring you kind of like the best up-to-date strategies for TikTok ads, and kind of give you guys an inside look on what we do on the back end in terms of developing our strategies, making sure that we're on top of our game, making sure that, you know, our strategies are as optimized as possible. And while this stuff takes a long time to build, we're building it. You know, like we're actually taking the initiative to go out there and figure out the best things to do, so that when we're running ads, we know exactly what to do. And like I said, we do this for every single step in the scaling process. So literally, eventually we'll have the process from testing all the way to scaling to maintaining to dying out all mapped out, and we'll know exactly the best thing to do at the right time. And that's probably around the time when I'll release a book on TikTok ads, right? Like my entire strategy. I did this exact thing with Facebook. If you guys were wondering how I got so fucking good at Facebook ads, this is how. Like I wrote down every single strategy, tested them out, kept track of the results, and then I optimized it, right? Like as things got better, I just started maneuvering more towards the things that performed better. It's really, really simple. Find out what works and do more of it. It's not any more complicated than that. And this is just a tool that allows you to do that and keep track of all of it. So I'm super excited that I was able to show you guys this here today, and I hope that it was super valuable to you, and seeing the back end and kind of how we develop our strategies, and also seeing the current strategies that are working really, really well for us. And learning that putting 3 different ads under each ad group is super valuable, and you can see like literally in the numbers that it makes a really, really big difference. Hopefully you'll start doing that, and hopefully you can go out and find a winner a little bit quicker because of this video here today. That would just put the biggest smile on my face if you went and commented saying like, yo, I tested 3 ads and I found a winner. I love it when you guys leave messages like that. But that's it for this video. Leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you want more videos about TikTok ad strategy or Shopify dropshipping in general. I try to talk about product research, ads, you know, all the things that I'm really, really good at. Also, leave a comment if you have feedback, questions, or advice that you want to give. Maybe you have strategies that you can recommend for me to put in the sheet. Try to make my strategies a little bit better. I appreciate all of it. But as for this video, this is Noah Brewer, and I'm out. Peace.